What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports. I'm back to you guys with another video. And before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe. I upload NFL videos and NFL content daily. And also, when you subscribe, you get me one subscriber close to my goal of 10,000 subscribers. Now, let's get into it. So, my NFC West 2019 NFL draft grades. This is the last one I have did all 8 divisions. Playlist will be out, so you guys can go check that out. And before I begin, timestamps down in the description, down below. If you guys don't want to watch the whole video, if you guys just want to skip to the grade that I gave your team, you can do that. Timestamps to that will be down below. Or you can watch the whole video if you actually want to help me get monetized, help me make money off this video, and help me grow the channel. So the first team that we have are the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Arizona Cardinals drafted Kyler Murray, #1 overall, traded Josh Rosen to the Miami Dolphins. I'm still not happy about that. I still think like drafting a quarterback in this year's draft when you already drafted a quarterback in the top 10 of last year's draft was pointless. But I understand it, but I'm still not happy about it. And it is going to affect their draft grade. Now, in the second round, after that pick, they basically drafted everything that they needed to draft. They drafted Byron Murphy, the hometown kid from the University of Washington, Andy Isabella from UMass, Zach Allen, who I had a second round grade on him, Hakeem Butler, a big physical wide receiver from Iowa State, Deontay Thompson, I had a third round grade on him, Keyshawn Johnson, who had a very productive career at Fresno State, surpassing Devontae Adams' production. Lamar Gilliard, who is a sleeper center. I think he could start for the Arizona Cardinals day one. And lastly, they selected Caleb Wilson, who was the last pick of this year's draft, Mr. Irrelevant. And I think he actually might be the best Mr. Irrelevant because I think this guy has a high ceiling and high potential. And he also was a second team All American a year ago. So this guy has some talent and he has some potential. So the grade I'm going to get the Arizona Cardinals is a B plus. Now the reason why I'm giving them a B plus, I mean the Kyler Murray thing still has me a little bit fired up. I still think they should have just kept Josh Rosen and they should have just kept Nick Bosa. But after that, they had a great draft. But I'm still going to give them a B plus because of the Kyler Murray thing. Still think that was a pretty dumb decision. I understand it, but I still think it was dumb. Now, the team that we have next, the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the LA Rams, they selected Taylor Rapp with their first pick in the NFL draft in the second round, 61st overall, the safety out of Washington. I like that pick. Round 3, they took Darrell Henderson, and the rich get even richer with Darrell Henderson. And now you're going to have Todd Gurley if he's able to become fully healthy again. That is going to be a deadly, deadly 1-2 combo. And we already saw the damage that CJ Anderson did. Now imagine what Sean McVay, the offensive guru, that every team tries to find. Every team is trying to find the next McVay. Imagine what he's going to do with a guy like Darrell Henderson, right? And you already have Todd Gurley. That is scary. Then they selected David Long, who was a very, very good corner in college football last year. Quarterbacks very seldom threw his way, and when they did threw his way, he had a very low completion percentage of passes completed against him. It was below 50. Bobby Evans and Greg Gaines were two good pickups. And in the 251st overall in the seventh round, they selected Dakota Allen. I really, really like that pick. Dakota Allen, former Last Chance U player. Think he's going to be pretty good with the LA Rams. So the grade that I have for the LA Rams is a minus, a very, very solid draft. They got a starting caliber linebacker in the seventh round. They got Greg Gaines, who should fill that hole for an Ndamukong Suh, a big run stopper. He can also get after the passer as well. Bobby Evans, good offensive tackle. David Long, a good corner. And you got Darrell Henderson. I mean, the possibilities. Him and Todd Gurley is going to make a deadly, deadly 1-2 punch at that running back position. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the San Francisco 49ers, they took Nick Bosa, second overall, which was a no-brainer. Everybody saw that coming. But what really set them apart was the two picks after that. Deebo Samuel and Jalen Hurd. Deebo Samuel being in the second round. I had Deebo Samuel marked to the San Francisco 49ers. And Jalen Hurd, the former running back, converted to a wide receiver. Those are two good picks. That wide receiving core is going to be very, very good with Jimmy Garoppolo. He now has a pretty solid wide receiving core. And Jalen Hurd, I think, is a guy who's going to have a big impact because this guy, he needs a little bit of work at wide receiver. He needs to polish the game a little bit more. But him with the ball in his hands, being a former running back with that former running back background, he's going to be hard to bring down and hard to stop. I think he's going to have a pretty good NFL career. And then also, this is a guy who had 60 receptions at Baylor. So pretty solid pick. They took a linebacker out of Arkansas, Dre Greenlaw. He's a pretty solid linebacker as well. And Tim Harris, a cornerback for Virginia. I think that's a hidden gem right there. He had a pretty good season with Virginia as well. So the grade I'm going to give the San Francisco 49ers is a and A. They had a very good draft. They filled all their needs. They bettered the wide receiving core. I mean, you got Jalen Hurd, 6'4", like 225 or something like that. And you got Deebo Samuel, who was electric with the ball in his hands. He was basically the whole entire offense for South Carolina. And then you got Nick Bosa with DeForest Buckner, with Solomon Thomas. You now solidify your defensive line to be one of the best pass rushing units in all of football for the next 5 to 7 years in that division. Now, lastly, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Seattle Seahawks in the first round, 29th overall, they took L.J. Collier, defensive end out of TCU. Now, I thought this was a reach, and the Seattle Seahawks have a history of reaching for players in the draft. Last year, they reached for Rashard Penny when he could have got drafted by them in the third round. And L.J. Collier, he's a guy who I had a third round projection around, and a lot of people had a third round projection on him, but I guess they needed a defensive end really badly, and they ended up taking him in the first round. He's a good player, by the way, not a bad pick. It's just that you just could have gotten this guy in the third round. And then they selected safety Marquise Blair in the second round out of Utah. Then they selected DK Metcalf with their second round pick, 64th overall, straight in wide receiver. We don't know if Doug Baldwin is going to continue to play football. They got linebacker Cody Barton out of Utah, two Utah players. Gary Jennings is a wide receiver that I like a lot. I'm not very shifty. Well, he's not really going to do anything with yards after catch, but I mean, he has solid hands. His route running is pretty good, and he was better than David Sills. David Sills got all the attention, but he was the better wide receiver, in my opinion. Then in round 4, you have Amadi, the cornerback out of Oregon. He has pretty good tape. Travis Homer, you can see if he can make the roster and then have him in a running back rotational role as well. So the Seattle Seahawks had a lot of good picks, and the grade that I'm going to give the Seattle Seahawks is it's an A. The Seattle Seahawks, I'm giving them an A. They filled all their needs, like every single one of them, and they even got not one, not two, but three wide receivers. So somebody is going to be able to replace Doug Baldwin if he decides to retire. And then I think all of these guys are going to be pretty good. DK Metcalf, if he can develop as a route runner better and stay healthy, he's going to be a great wide receiver in the NFL. He's going to be a Pro Bowl caliber player, and if he reaches his full potential, get ready, Canton. Already have his Hall of Fame ballot already filled out once he reaches his full potential, because that is straightly where he's going, straight to the Hall of Fame. Gary Jennings is going to be a pretty solid wide receiver also. Seattle Seahawks, even though they reached for L.J. Collier, in my opinion, had a very, very good draft, and I'm giving them an A. And that's all for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below.